Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news. The NFL is always full of surprises, and this week the buzz around the league is centered on a blockbuster trade that could reshape the NFC East, and more specifically, the New York Giants' future prospects. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Another trade rumor. These things happen all the time. But trust me, this one has some real substance behind it, and it involves a move that could seriously bolster the Giants' roster, especially their wide receiver depth, while also impacting the secondary. The Giants, currently sitting at 2-4 with a cap space of around $5 million, are making strategic moves to improve their team, and one of the most talked about rumors involves a potential trade with the Green Bay Packers. Sources close to the situation suggest that the Giants are eyeing a deal that would send Deonte Banks, their promising rookie cornerback from Maryland, to Green Bay in exchange for a young wide receiver, Jaden Reed, and a second-round pick in the 2026 draft. Now, this isn't just a random trade. It's a calculated move based on the needs of both teams and their current performance trajectories. Banks, drafted in 2023, quickly established himself as a top 100 PFF rookie with impressive stats in his debut year. In 2024, he showcased his elite coverage skills with 65 tackles, placing him among the top 20 cornerbacks in the league, and managed to snag 3 interceptions, ranking him in the top 15. His EPA per snap, which measures how much a player positively or negatively impacts the team's expected points, was plus 0.14, putting him in the top 25 in the league. His PFF grade was 82.3, which is quite solid, especially considering his rookie status. His coverage rating of 73, 2 among top 15 CBs, indicates he's capable of locking down receivers, and his allowed yards after catch of just 2.8 yards per reception puts him in the top 12. Plus, he allowed a completion percentage of only 49%, which is impressive given the NFL's high passing volume. All these numbers point to a player who has the potential to become a shutdown corner, especially as he continues to develop. However, in 2025, Banks faced some injury setbacks, particularly with his knee, limiting his playing time and production. He still managed 18 solo tackles, an interception, and 3 pass deflections, showing flashes of his playmaking ability. His ball hawk rate of 14% in 2025 was top 20 among cornerbacks, meaning he was actively disrupting passing lanes and making plays. His game against the Browns in Week 3 was a highlight, with an interception, 5 tackles, and a plus 0.15 EPA per play, demonstrating his ability to impact the game even when limited. Across his career, Banks has accumulated around 150 tackles, 6 interceptions, and 25 pass deflections. His double-team rate is around 25%, which shows he's often targeted by offenses, but this also underscores his importance in the Giants' secondary. His chronic knee issues have cost him a couple of games, but he's still considered a rising star with a lot of upside. On the other side, we have Jaire Alexander of the Packers, who has been peaking recently. In 2020, Alexander was one of the league's top man coverage specialists, with a win rate of around 70%, and he allowed a QBR of only 57.1, 0 touchdowns in 2025, and has established himself as one of the most reliable shutdown corners in the league. Green Bay, currently holding a 3-1-1 record, is seen as a contender, and acquiring Banks would give them a young, athletic cornerback to bolster their secondary. The Packers are projecting a significant boost in their pass defense, aiming for around plus 8 interceptions per season, reducing passing yards allowed from 190 to approximately 160 yards per game, and increasing coverage efficiency by 18%. That's a substantial upgrade for a team that already has a solid defensive front led by players like Kenny Clark and Preston Smith, but their secondary could use the injection of youth and talent that Banks provides. Now, the Giants, on the other hand, are in a different position. Their odds of making the playoffs are quite long, around plus 120,000 in some betting markets, so they are not really considered favorites right now. They're more focused on rebuilding and developing their young core, especially at wide receiver, where they've been hit by injuries and inconsistencies. Slayton, who had a hamstring DNP in Week 7, and Neighbors, who is dealing with a concussion, are both uncertain for upcoming games, and Schmitz's concussion adds to their injury woes. This trade, if it comes to fruition, could be a signal that the Giants are embracing a bit of a rebuild, especially on offense, by bringing in a young receiver like Reed. Reed, a promising wideout, could bring some much-needed youth and explosiveness to the Giants' passing attack, which has struggled at times this season. But there is a risk involved. By trading Banks, the Giants' secondary does take a hit, dropping their EPA per pass by about 10%, similar to what we saw with the Jets after losing Gardner. That's a significant decline, and it's something that Giants fans need to consider. The secondary is already a work in progress, and losing a player of Banks' caliber could make things more challenging. On the flip side, for the Packers, acquiring Banks isn't just about immediate needs, it's about long-term potential. Banks is projected to increase their interception totals by roughly 8 per season and reduce the pass yards allowed, making the Packers' pass defense a real strength in the NFC once again. His addition could elevate their secondary to a top 3 ranking in pass defense, possibly even better, especially with the presence of Gary rushing the passer, who already has 6 sacks this season. The Packers' defense with Banks could be one of the most formidable units in the league, capable of supporting quarterback Love with additional possessions and more aggressive coverage. Now, this trade also has implications for the betting odds. The Super Bowl odds, which currently sit around plus 3,000, could drop significantly if Banks joins Green Bay. Some analysts are now suggesting that with Banks in the fold, the Packers could see their odds improve to around plus 1,500, making them a more serious contender. NFC favorites are also moving in that direction, with odds tightening around plus 200, as the league recognizes that this move could give Green Bay a real shot at making a deep playoff run. For the Giants, this trade could be viewed as a signal that they're willing to sacrifice some immediate defensive strength in favor of future assets and offensive growth. It's a bold move, but one that fits the current trajectory of the team, which is more focused on developing young players and building for the future. The Giants' front office knows that they need to find ways to improve their offense, especially at wide receiver, and acquiring a young, talented receiver like Reed could be a step in that direction. Meanwhile, for the Packers, Banks represents a strategic addition, an athletic ball-hawking corner that can shadow top receivers and change the way opposing teams attack their secondary. His projected plus 20% boost in defensive EPA against deep threats like Jefferson could be a game-changer in high-stakes matchups, especially in the playoffs. Looking ahead, this trade could be a pivotal moment for both teams. For Green Bay, it's about reinforcing a defense that's already solid but needs that extra spark to compete with the NFC elite. For the Giants, it's about embracing a rebuild, focusing on developing their young talent, and perhaps creating some cap space to sign key players in the offseason. The NFL is a league of strategic moves, and this one could very well define the next chapter for both franchises. So, what do you think? Do you believe the Giants are making the right call by letting Banks go to the Packers? Or do you think this move will hurt their defense more than it will help their offense? And for the Packers, is Banks the missing piece they need to finally push through and contend seriously for the Super Bowl? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear all of your opinions. And remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, more analysis, and more of everything you love about the New York Giants and the NFL as a whole. Stay tuned, keep supporting your team, and let's keep this passionate community growing. Thanks for watching, and until next time, go Giants.